About branding. Hello, my name is Alli Beck, and I am a brand strategist and website designer in Sandpoint, Idaho. So if you can hear me, I'd love to know. Let me know by clicking the like button. And I'm also curious about who is listening to this. Even if you hear it on the replay, I'd love to hear you comment below on where you are and what your business is. Curious to know more about everyone who's in this group. So just want to get started I'm going to be talking today on why branding matters and the power of branding that it has for growth in your business. So I've been talking about to some businesses lately, and a lot of business owners really have the perception that that their business's branding is sort of the icing on the cake. It's something that they do later when they're more established, when they've been selling for a while. It's kind of been like something they've done on the fly as they go, and thinking, it's just an add-on. It's a nice thing to have once you get your footing underneath you. But really, it's not the icing on the cake. It is the platform that your business sits on. And so it's really important to have that strong foundation in your brand from the beginning or early on as possible. So first off, I thought I'd talk about a little bit what branding is. So there's a misconception that branding is your logo. And that certainly is part of your brand, but it's just a very small piece. So your branding isn't your website, it's not your logo, it's not necessarily just the colors that you use. It's really the core identity of who you are as a business, and it shows people what you believe in and who you are, your message, your story, and it also gives a promise to a potential customer of what they'll get when they'll buy from you. And it sort of separates you from other people in your same industry and tells what potential customers are, what you are about, and what you're not. And so then people can make mental associations with who you are and your values. So just to show you a little bit of an example about this, have you ever noticed that stock photography, when you're looking around at sort of those desktop pictures or lay flat pictures of computers, that all of those photos are usually of Macs, right? You very rarely see a PC in one of those pretty pictures with like a notebook and pens and a computer on a desk, right? So why is this? If you have a guess, leave it in the comments as to why this is. One of the kind of easy guesses is that Macs are pretty, right? They have sleek lines. They look nice with their gray round edges, and it's true, but there's a lot more to it than that. So there's sort of this association with Macs and creativity, right? And there's like this refinement to it and class, and it sort of speaks to this entrepreneurial spirit and wild pursuit of ingenuity, right? So that's kind of what we think about when we think of Macs. And this wasn't by accident, right? Like Apple crafted a brand with this message in mind, and they wanted people to make those associations. So whether you are a diehard Cult of Mac fan, or if you are a PC loyalist and you feel like Macs are too much money for what they are, you still recognize them, right? Even if you don't see the logo. When you see a Mac computer, you know. And it's become sort of an icon, right? And I know what you're thinking, like, I have a small business. I don't have all the money to invest in all that branding that they probably did to come up with the brand that they have. But and also, like, I know that we're all juggling a lot, right? We're trying to do 500 things that we know nothing about so that we can do the one thing that we're passionate about. And I completely relate to that. So it's easy to push branding to the back and kind of give it low priority. But I wanted to talk about 3 reasons why you shouldn't do that. Why really it's something that you should invest in now in the early stages of your business, and then you can move forward from there, having it done with an audience that is more fit for the kinds of things that you are offering, is a better fit. So number one of the reasons why that branding matters is that a cohesive brand builds trust and credibility. So I think as humans, we all need to know something to trust it, right? The first time you run into a business, you aren't necessarily going to hand them your money and say, here, go do whatever. because you don't trust them, right? You don't know if they're going to do what they say they're going to do. So I think the statistic is that a person needs to have 7 encounters with business before they buy from them. And that's a lot of times, right? You have to see a business over and over again. And I think in even some industries it's higher than that. So imagine if you are having encounters with a business and every time you see them, they look completely different. They're saying different things about what they do. Their colors are different. It doesn't really do a lot to build that trust, right? And in fact, there might be times you don't even know that that's the same business, that maybe you're thinking this is something different. So if you present yourself with cohesively with a brand, your potential customer knows what to expect from you, and that consistency will earn their trust. And then that trust will build loyalty. So the second thing is that a cohesive brand creates recognition. So coming back to the Apple example again, if you walk down a street like a block away, you can see an Apple store and know it's an Apple store because it's got the white stores and the bright lights and the parallel tables down the middle with the electronics on the walls. And even without seeing their logo or a sign, you know that that is an Apple store. And same thing with Starbucks, right? You can see a Starbucks from a block away and know that that's a Starbucks store. And so because they have spent time on their branding, that you, all of us, have begun to recognize them. And in fact, I don't know if you guys remember this, but a few years ago, Starbucks changed their logo to not even include their name. So now they just have the emblem. And that's how powerful their brand is that we don't even need to see their name to know that it's them. So you can do that even as a small business. We can do that at some level, right? Is create that recognition among the community of people that follow us. So when people are scrolling through Instagram, they start to recognize your posts and see that it's you because your branding is so cohesive. And you want to be so consistent in this that it almost becomes boring for you, right? Like you're like, oh, I have to use the same colors, the same fonts. But if you're bored with your brand, then you're doing something right. So the last thing is that a cohesive brand creates a loyal follower base. So when you're sending the same message about who you are and what you stand for, and you're telling your story again and again, it sort of endears you to potential clients. They start rallying around you, they start cheering for you, and it is almost like it's creating a culture, right, of people that have similar values, and they understand you, they relate to you, they feel like you're speaking to them. So a good brand makes customers want to share you with others, right? They want to pass it along. They want to, and then people want to be part of this community. So those are the three reasons why branding is so important. You know, creating trust and credibility, creating recognition, and creating a loyal follower base. So here's the thing, if you don't decide your brand, other people will decide it for you. And I don't know about you, but I want to decide what other people, what message I'm sending, right? I don't want other people to decide it for me and make any assumptions. And so that's why it's so important to actually do the work at the front end and make sure that you're saying what you want people to hear, because they will hear something. The best time to do this, of course, is like early in your business when you're really getting established, to set that foundation early, and then everything you build after that is you build on top of it, like that platter with the cake, right? You're building on top of that platter. If you haven't done it and you've been in business for a while, that's okay. You know, the second best time is now. Here we are at the beginning of 2021, and we've got the next year laid out before us, and it's really an awesome time to dedicate a little bit of time to your brand. Like spend some time thinking through the strategy, because here's the thing, you don't want to just piecemeal everything together and throw some colors together. There really should be a strategy to what you select and how you position yourself. So like I said, 2021 is a great time to start your brand process. I'm actually offering a free workshop next Wednesday, January 13th at 11 a.m. Pacific. Everyone is welcome to join. I'm including the link here on this live. So we're going to be talking about how to choose your target market and why that matters so much, how to define your message, and how to choose the aesthetics of your brand, and how all those three things can work together to elevate your brand to the point where you are recognized, where you can ask for higher prices, where people trust you and know you. And I'd really, really love to have each and every one of you. So if you have any questions about anything I've talked to today, or the workshop, drop a comment in below. And otherwise, I would love to see you all next Wednesday. Thanks so much for having me, and I will see you soon.